Hello there, everybody, and finally, we're doing Halo 2. It's a pretty big game, as I'm sure many of you are aware. It's the sequel to Halo CE, came out in 2004, and it's possibly my favorite of the campaigns, at least from a story perspective. Some of you may be familiar with the fact that I streamed this game with a lovely old chap called Ivar Sorrows. If you don't know about him, you absolutely should. I'm going to put some links up here. Go follow his stuff. He's a lovely man. He's done some quality content. No reason not to. So, with all of that said, Halo 2. So, the thing is with this is that it's quite cutscene heavy at the very beginning. So, I'm gonna stay quiet for a little bit once we've got the cutscenes going, and then I will let those play out. Almost accidentally played a level called Regret. How fitting that would have been. Yep. I'm gonna do it on normal. Legendary on this game is notoriously hell. It is absolutely brutal beyond any belief, and all elements of fun. So we're not doing it on Legendary, and playing it on Heroic was hard enough, so I'm going to do it on Normal. So we should have a relatively smooth time. I'm going to let the cutscene play out, and then we're going to talk about that. So without further ado, let us begin with Halo 2.
There was only one ship.
One? Are you sure?
Yes, they called it the Pillar of Autumn.
Why was it not destroyed with the rest of their fleet?
It fled as we set fire to their planet. But I followed with all the ships in my command.
When you first saw Halo, were you blinded by its majesty?
Blinded?
Paralyzed? Dumbstruck?
No.
Yet the humans were able to evade your ships, land on the sacred ring, and desecrate it with their filthy footsteps.
Noble hierarchs, surely you understand that once the parasite attacked,
There will be order in this council.
You were right to focus your attention on the Flood. But this demon, this Master Chief...
by the time I learned the demon's intent, there was nothing I could do.
Noble prophet of truth, this has gone on long enough. Make an example of this bungler. The council demands it.
You are one of our most treasured instruments. Long have you led your fleet with honor and distinction. But your inability to safeguard Halo was a colossal failure.
Nay, it was heresy.
I will continue my campaign against the humans.
No, you will not. Soon the great journey shall begin. But when it does, the weight of your heresy will stay your feet, and you shall be left behind.
The plating was about to fail. There's viscosity throughout the gel layer. Optics, totally fried. And let's not even talk about the power supply. You know how expensive this gear is, son?
Tell that to the Covenant.
Oh, badass stuff. So I'm going to talk a little bit in detail about the cutscene we just saw because there's a lot to unpack there before we go into the armory, which is basically just our tutorial mission anyway. So we're really going to be focusing on story for the next little while. So before we handle this, I love that introductory cutscene so much. So we have a lot of fantastic voice actors there right off the bat. Keith David as the Arbiter, or sorry, Thel Vadam. I shouldn't call him the Arbiter yet, but we'll get to that plot point. Not much of a spoiler, but we'll get there. We've got Michael Wincott as the Prophet of Truth. I love his delivery. I love him. He's the one in the center there, the one who seems to be in control of that council. We've got Robin Atkin Downes as Regret as well. Robin Atkin Downes, a voice actor you might recognize from pretty much everything that's ever been released ever. Watch basically any anime or any video game, you will find a Robin Atkin Downes voice somewhere in there, I can almost guarantee you. He's very high profile, but a lot of lovely little touches there. So let's get into it. We're seeing a few new Covenant races and our first insight into how that society works. So, the guy who was put on trial there, who I will call Vadam for the time being, because that is his name, was the man responsible for the Covenant in the previous game. He was the leader of that particular fleet, clearly escaped from the first Halo ring just before we destroyed it at the end of the last game. And it's very clear that the Covenant see it as a religious artifact, and this was an enormous failure on his part. So, he's in quite a lot of trouble right now. Meanwhile, the Chief is armoring back up into his standard combat gear, but there are a lot of really nice details in that cutscene. One of my absolute favorites is the way Vadam sort of refuses to let the brutes touch him. The brutes being the sort of like gorilla-like race that we saw earlier. So we're seeing a little bit more insight into the way the Covenant has their shady little dealings, and I'm a sucker for that. Anything that fleshes out a pre-existing sci-fi race and really gets to delve right into its society, it's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. So anyway, we've got the little tutorial here.
Well, I guess it was all obsolete anyway.
Yeah.
Your new suit's a Mark 6. Just came up from Songnam this morning. Try and take it easy until you get used to the upgrades. Okay, let's test your targeting first thing. Please look at the top light. Good. Now look at the bottom light.
Yeah, this is the sort of standard tutorial stuff.
That's it. Now the bottom one. Okay. Everything checks out. Stand by. I'm gonna offline the inhibitors.
Oh no, not the inhibitors.
Look around a little. Get a feel for it.
Yeah.
When you're ready, come meet me by the Zap.
So, as you can see, we are a lot more maneuverable in Halo 2. This is one thing I do love about the way Bungie does their tutorials. Even this guy just has a little bit of personality to him.
You'll tear a tendon doing that.
He's just very, very anxious about us and doesn't really want us jumping around. We're a lot more maneuverable. You can see we don't have a health bar this time, which is exciting. This Mark 6 armor, I honestly do prefer this design. I think it looks much cooler than the other suit that the Chief had. Not that the other suit was bad. Also, one touch I did want to bring up there is he mentioned the power supply. Really cool that these show up, by the way. Yeah, the power supply, which we may remember from the previous game, we absolutely eviscerated using the single-use teleport on the ring. The fact that this game has continuity touches like that, I love it. It shows how much care and passion goes into this. So let's go here.
Pay attention, because I'm only going over this once. This station will test your recharging energy shields.
Yeah, this
your
is
new
really
armor
important.
shields are extremely resilient, very efficient.
Yeah. You can see there, whoop, 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 woo. We've got the little energy bar.
Bingo. As you can see, they recharge a lot faster.
Kind of. That's not strictly speaking true, because they're also much less durable, and as I mentioned, we don't have a health bar. But we'll be commenting on that a little bit more in a bit. Now, fans of the previous playthrough, you may remember that a certain guy, Sergeant Johnson, was almost unambiguously killed off by the flood halfway through.
If your shields go down,
Well,
find
bam, he's
some
over there.
cover. Wait for the meter to read fully charged.
That, or he can hide behind me. You done with my boy here, Master Guns?
Oh, I love
I
these
don't
guys.
see any training wheels.
His armor's working fine, Johnson, so shut your chilly hole. You're free to go, son. Just remember, take things slow.
Don't worry, I'll hold his hand.
I love these guys so much. It's just so fun and charming. Alright, let's get it.
So, Johnson, when you gonna tell me how you made it back home in one piece?
Sorry, Guns, it's classified.
My ass! Well, you can forget about those adjustments to your A2 scope.
Well, he's in a particularly fine mood.
I love that line. It's just basically the game admitting itself like, it's classified, because it's covered in a novel and we didn't think of it yet.
Maybe Lord Hood didn't give him an invitation.
Lord Hood. Yeah. So before we do this, by the way, I should probably mention we are playing the original graphics of Halo 2. We do have the anniversary installed, and I'm now going to press the awesome button that turns things to look shiny. And you can see it's taken a little while longer than in the previous game. This does look good. I mean, my god, Earth looks absolutely beautiful. The lighting is top-notch. It looks great, but as you can probably tell from the length of time it took me to switch between the two, there's one slight problem, and that is my hardware. I can't run this very efficiently. So, I apologize, guys, but we're sticking with the classic visuals. I will say, though, unlike Halo 1, I can't really think of an instance in this game where this anniversary graphics aren't just a straight improvement. There are probably some cases, particularly in certain sections, but honestly, I think they do wonderfully. And I do have smooth playback for the cutscene, so I'm going to do that for the cutscene coming up.
Earth. Haven't seen it in years. When I shipped out for basic, the orbital defense grid was all theory and politics. Now look, the Cairo is just one of 300 geosync platforms. That Mac gun can put a round clean through a Covenant capital ship. Coordinated fire from the Athens and the Malta, nothing's getting past this battle cluster in one piece.
Does anyone else hear a Chekhov's gun getting cocked? Or is it just me?
Ships have been arriving all morning. Nobody's saying much, but I'll bet something big's about to happen.
They are, and we're gonna do it in anniversary graphics. With anniversary music, I forget that gets rescored as well. Oh, here we go, guys. Some beautiful cutscene direction coming up, which I'm gonna stay quiet for. Oh, or not, we're gonna get a loading screen first. But, it's a well-directed loading screen, because it doesn't take too bloody long.
You told me there wouldn't be any cameras.
And you told me you were gonna wear something nice. Folks need heroes, Chief, to give them hope. So smile, would ya? Well, we still got something to smile about.
Drawn quite a crowd. If they came to hear me beg, they will be disappointed. Are you sure?
Gentlemen, we're lucky to have you back. Go ahead, Cortana.
Another whisper, sir, near Io. We have probes en route.
I apologize, but we're going to have to make this quick.
You look nice.
Thank you.
Sergeant Major, the Colonial Cross is awarded for acts of singular daring and devotion. For a soldier of the United Earth Space Corps.
There can be no greater heresy. Let him be an example for all who would break our covenant.
Commander Miranda Keyes, your father's actions were in keeping with the highest traditions of military service. His bravery in the face of impossible odds reflects great credit upon himself and the UNSC. The Navy has lost one of its best.
ship space ruptures directly off our battle cluster.
Show me.
15 Covenant capital ships holding position just outside the kill zone.
This is Fleet Admiral Harper. We are engaging the enemy.
Negative, Admiral. Form a defensive perimeter around the cluster. Commander, get to your ship. Link up with the fleet.
Yes, sir.
You have the mech gun, Cortana. As soon as they come in range, open up.
Gladly.
Something's not right. The fleet that destroyed Reach was 50 times this size.
Sir, additional contacts. Boarding craft and lots of them.
They're going to try to take our mech guns offline. Give their capital ships a straight shot at Earth. Master Chief, defend this station.
Yes, sir. I need a weapon.
Right this way.
Oh, tell me that doesn't hype you up. Oh my god. Alright, back to the original graphics though, just so we have a little bit of smoother gameplay. Oh my god, that's brilliant. I love that scene so much. The juxtaposition between the condemnation of the dam and the celebration of the chief. It's just it's pure poetry. There's even the bit the platform that Tartarus, the brute chieftain, is standing on later on. I only just figured out we're actually gonna be on that platform later on in this game. It's literally an environment you go to. It's just so good. The guys who did that animation, Blur Studios, that is some of the best looking animation I have ever seen in my life. All the colors are so crisp. All of the animation is so fluid. You can see so much emotion on everyone's face. Miranda Keyes, the daughter of Keyes from the previous game, the woman who is accepting a posthumous medal on his behalf, just the way you can see her swallow yet still remain stoic in that moment, sort of holding it together. She clearly misses her father and is still trying to live up to his example. It's so well crafted. I love this game so much. And Blur Studios, all of the people involved in that, major props to you guys. It is so easy to mess up a remake or to mess up a remaster. This is, without a doubt, one of the finest remasters I have ever seen in my life. It is pitch perfect at every point. So yeah, a little bit of politics going on. You can see Tartarus, this brute chieftain, slowly taking some of the prestige away from the dam here, which was interesting to see. We'll see that pay off a little bit more later on. And the Covenant are attacking Earth. I mentioned in the last game that the moment the Covenant reach Earth, that's pretty much game. Because our main advantage in this war has been information. It's been Cortana and information. The Covenant don't know where Earth is. The Covenant have just arrived on Earth, with a fleet 50 times smaller than the one that destroyed Reach. Reach being one of the biggest colonies we had, probably like the second Earth, filled with technological innovation and advancement. They're attacking Earth with a fleet significantly smaller. We'll see how that goes for them.
Stand by. They're latched. Check your targets, watch the crossfire.
Yeah.
They're in standard formation. Little bastards up front, big ones in back. Good luck, Cairo.
I love that that's literally canonized, little bastards in front. They treat the grunts as cannon fodder, which is sort of tragic, but it's how the game tends to go. By the way, some of you may have noticed, there is a certain cutscene that plays at the beginning of the anniversary version that ties into events in Halo 5. I don't like Halo 5, so we're not playing that cutscene. That's just how it's going. But anyway, they're coming through. Oh. Bam bam. Oh yeah, so new feature of this game I should probably talk about. Uber Eats is just telling me they've got an offer on. I don't need to know that, because we've got dual wielding. Holding two guns at once. And Uber Eats is literally preventing me from firing there. Notification. Takeout companies want us down. But yeah, so you can already see we are pretty dangerous in this game. We've taken out a whole room full of these guys, and we're doing pretty well for it. We're chewing through ammo, hyper lethal. However, the nature of this game is it's much more fast paced. So I mentioned the shields recharge much faster. Let's test that quickly. So let's have them fire at me. So yeah. What the fuck was that quote? I didn't catch that. Yeah. Okay, so I'll show that off a little bit more later. I'm sure we'll be under fire in more sequences. This is actually really well done tutorial design as well. Sorry, I'm just going to backtrack a little bit to show it off because these levels are much more fast-paced. So from the beginning, we had good time to prepare and fully loaded weapons for the enemy breaking through these doors. Then we hit distracted enemies. This tutorial, I think, is much better paced than the previous one, just on the basis of we're right in the thick of it right at the beginning. We know the context, we know how it's going, and Chief already feels like an absolute badass. So we're going to single wield the SMG for a little while. He's a bit far away. Time to use the battle rifle. Now, the battle rifle, new weapon, it's a burst fire rifle that is used as our precision weapon. And this is really the gun that fills the role of the pistol from the previous game. The pistol was previously described as the Fist of God. This is the weapon that basically the entire game will now revolve around. For better and for worse. So, see here, strip his shields, little burst to the head, and he's pretty much down. The gameplay of Halo is pretty much centered around strip the enemy shields, and then try and get them in the head with a precision weapon, but as we've shown off, the SMG is pretty good at both taking down enemies that are cannon fodder, and for stripping the elite shields here. We're going to switch to the plasma rifle, just to show off that this gun is also still effective. This will be another mainstay of this game, but for reasons we'll get to later. Yeah, so one thing I really like about this game right from the off, it did front load quite a lot of its cutscenes, and that can be annoying for people who just want to get into the thick of gameplay, although given modern gaming traditions, my god, it's blisteringly fast compared to a lot of those. But I love the extra story, I love the extra background, the extra layers of context to what we're doing and who we're fighting. It just makes this game and this universe so much more satisfying to be a part of. Oh, the tube exploits. I don't have the thing that makes the Marine say the funny quotes on one of the skulls, so I don't know why. I feel like they just have a bit more humor injected into them in this game. But yeah. So the Covenant are boarding us in these tubes, but we're fending them off pretty well, because we're the Chief and we can do that.
Malta, what is your status? Over.
I don't believe it! They're retreating! We won!
Things are going pretty smoothly. Oh.
This is bad. Real bad.
Okay. So one of the orbital defense platforms just got blown up. Which is not ideal. The music in this game is absolutely beautiful. I love it. So there's a turret, which is currently not very useful because there are no enemies in its field of fire. But in any case... Oh, but bless them, the Covenant still think their turrets are useful. Turrets in this game are not good, I'll be honest with you. There are very rare occasions in which I think they are worth the time to use. But most of the time you want to be mobile because you're under a lot of fire most of the time in this game. Oh yeah, and the melee is not a lot more powerful, but more powerful. Which is helpful. So the Covenant's got these little deployable cover setups going on here. To add a little bit of spice to gameplay. Yeah. As long as you can land a solid burst to the head, then these guys will go down like nothing else. Yeah. So that's going pretty alright. So, plus...
Hey, they're leaving the Athens.
Oh, yeah.
Cortana, assessment.
That explosion came from inside the Athens. Same as the Malta. The Covenant must have brought something with them. A bomb.
Then they sure as hell brought one here. Chief, find it.
So that much-touted orbital defense system is kind of buckling under the Covenant assault, which kind of does sell them as a threat pretty well. Because, I mean, even with this heavily reduced fleet size, they are doing a lot of damage to Earth's defenses. Granted, they have the element of surprise on their hand, but... Oh, sorry. Oh, God. On one hand, they have the element of surprise on their hand, but that might not necessarily be true. We'll get to that a little bit later, because Covenant sure didn't seem ready for us.
Hell out of my armory, split.
Sorry, Armory guy just got taken down, which always sucks. I don't think there's any way to save him apart from, like, glitches and exploits, so... yeah, it didn't go so well for us. However, I said that the battle rifle was the stand-in for the pistol. We do still have a pistol, And I'm... Okay, we have to talk about this gun. I like this gun, but it is worse than useless. It fires really fast. Kind of effective on grunts if you can land a decent headshot, but it lacks the scope of the previous one, and if we try and use it on this elite here... Yeah. I love the vibe of this thing, if I'm honest, but it just doesn't have the stopping power necessary to make it an effective weapon. I suppose what the game is expecting is that we're going to use it in tandem with another weapon. So if I use it to take those grunts out, yeah. Oh shit. So I'm running pretty low on health. Yeah, that almost killed me, that experiment, so that's why we will not be using the pistol for much of this playthrough. But nevertheless, use the plasma pistol. Plasma pistol also took a hit from the previous game. Let's see if we can find a grunt to show this off on. Yeah. So you can see, it's not really doing all that well against them. It's not a great anti-flash weapon. It's doing alright, but it's not anywhere near the level of the SMG or any of the other weapons, so again, not great. However, it does overcharge much faster. Of course, that's not really useful unless we've got an elite near us, which we do. That's known as the noob combo. But, which I feel like is a little bit disingenuous to it, because it is a solid tactic, but it is kind of annoying to go up against, I guess, in the multiplayer, so maybe that's why it's called that, but yeah. So it functions in its specific role better, but it loses a little bit of lethality. There's a debate in the community about whether or not that's a good thing. Personally, I do kind of feel like they overcorrect when they make it super specialized.
Don't worry, ma'am. We're on it.
Yeah. So I like it. Miranda and Johnson.
I owe you one.
Yeah, one thing I do find slightly annoying is that occasionally, like, almost all of the female characters have a slight flirtatious edge to them. Miranda doesn't really have it throughout a lot of this rest of this game. Or the series for that matter, but yeah, Cortana definitely does, which I'm fine for her, but I just kind of feel like, you know, the whole male empowerment fantasy, like, yeah, alright guys, just kind of want them to be competent badasses in their own right, which Miranda kind of is. I feel like more could be done to highlight that, but it's 2004, unfortunately, it is of its time. Oh, but this bit's really cool. So you can hear that the sound's gone all muffled because... Welcome to the vacuum, suckers. And you can see gravity's gone down as well. Oh, which is... I don't know, it's just such a nice touch having that in this game. So now we have a new enemy type, which we didn't have in the previous game, which
Sir, boarders have breached the fire control center. They have a bomb.
Can you defuse it?
Yes, but I'll need the Chief's help to make contact with the detonator.
Chief, get to the bomb, double time. Cortana, prioritize targets and fire at will.
First echelon, you're with me. Blanket those cruisers. Take them out one by one. Second echelon, keep those carriers busy.
Registering all hostile vessels inside the kill zone. 13 cruisers, 2 assault carriers. I'm going loud.
Good, let's get stuff around the gun. So yeah, we had jetpack elite troopers, which is fun, and another new enemy. Everybody, meet the drones. They are fast, they swarm everywhere, and on harder difficulties are a fucking nightmare. But here, they are pretty fun cannon fodder enemies to take on. Hard to hit, not very durable, but they fly around, strip your shields for the other enemies. So again, a nice little bit of tutorializing. The drones are introduced to you in an environment which introduces you to how to kill them, but not where they're at their most dangerous. Oh, no. Oh, that grenade drop was pretty cool initially. I feel like I could probably jump onto this thing now. We're gonna. Yeah, there we go. Reload. Yeah. So we're fighting a lot of elite miners here, which are pretty easy to take on, as long as you're well equipped for that task. Fortunately, this level leaves you quite a lot of ammunition. You're in a human-controlled settlement, so you've got quite a lot of good ammunition around. Look at the vistas here as well. One thing I love about the level design is it's much tighter. There's less empty space you're constantly running around through, less of cheap enemy bullshit, and there's a lot more variety. We're fighting them on moving pieces of geometry, we're fighting them in the vacuum of space and low gravity, and so now, if I remember this level correctly, we're about to fight them in a bit which combines the two, which is going to be very exciting. This is more to show off the little battle ahead. I think just a nice little vista. So if I'm right, this is the Mac gun that Cortana's using. Let's check this out in anniversary graphics briefly. Lag up the screen. 3, 2... Ooh. Yep. Oh! Ho! 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 Okay, yeah, they nailed that effect. Oh my god, look at this thing. Yeah, you can see the rounds go in. Click, 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 and boom! Oh my god. Sorry, it's cool.
It's cool. You're heading straight for the Cairo.
Cortana, concentrate your fire on the first carrier. Admiral, do what you can against the second.
Everyone, form up. Follow my lead.
So, you see the gun's loading. We're fighting on the Mac gun now, which is really cool. So we've got like moving bits of geometry, so that guy's alternating between being within our line of fire and not. And we've got these guys moving around.
The first carrier completely ignored us, sir. Blew through the Malta's debris field and headed straight for Earth.
Bam. There we go. So yeah, so you may have just heard there, the first carrier has completely ignored this defensive grid, which seems interesting. They're going for just a mad rush towards Earth. Not really a great strategy from a military standpoint. It's just another way to show that this invasion is not quite right, which is a detail I really enjoy. So we're in an airlock
Just
now.
so you know, there are quite a few elites guarding the bomb. You may need to get creative.
I like this as a way for the game to say, alright, we're ramping up the difficulty now. Might want to strategize a little bit. One way to strategize is to know which door you're going through. Now, I'm gonna try and avoid using grenades for this bit because it feels like it makes way more sense to not do that. Because, you know, we've got a bomb that we're gonna need to disarm, so try and do this with some precision. Yeah. I like this environment as well. It's you've got a lot of room to maneuver, lots of good weapon diversity. These guys moving around, you can even go to the top levels if you feel so inclined. Move around, try and outflank the enemy. Oh yeah. So yeah, we can see an elite dual wielding a weapon there. Oh shit, hang on, I should stop chatting because I'm in danger. Yeah, the one downside to the shields is that you have no health bar now, which means once they're drained, they can very easily kill you. And that is a lot of fire I'm taking, so let's try and whittle these numbers down a little bit. Jesus Christ, the volume of fire is insane. This really is a bit you want to tackle with grenades, but I'm deciding not to for the sake of, I don't know, context? Oh shit. Okay, fuck context. I need that grenade. It's far enough away from the bomb, so I don't know why I'm pretending that this makes any difference. Throwing grenades in this section will not detonate the bomb. I'm just doing this because I want to be an idiot. He's outfoxing me. Let's do this bit in our anniversary graphics because the next cutscene is fucking awesome. They're shield flaring in anniversary, but it's gonna be worth it for the next cutscene. Oh, honey.
Me inside your head now. much time was left?
You don't want to know.
Cairo, this is an Emberclad. The carrier shield is down. I'm in position and ready for immediate assault.
Negative, Commander. Not against a ship that size. Not on your own.
Sir, permission to leave the station.
For what purpose, Master Chief?
To give the Covenant back their bomb.
Permission granted.
Such a cool line.
I know what you're thinking, and it's crazy.
So, stay here.
Unfortunately for us both, I like crazy.
This whole cutscene, by the way, only exists because they cut a level. This is how you cut a level in fucking style.
Just one question. What if you miss?
I won't.
Pretty good.
Chief, get inside. Gear up. We're taking this fight to the surface.
How cool was that? Sorry. I love that so much. Yeah, you were supposed to go into that ship. There was going to be a whole level there. Well, we didn't have time to do that, so we just put that together. Oh my god. I fucking love this game so much. Oh my god. Oh my god, the little like ebb and flow as well with a little comedy moment right at the end to bring it home. Oh, it's perfection. These guys are at the fucking A game. I'm going to call off this episode here, but guys, I cannot wait to go through this game with you. I'm feeling this. I am feeling it.